Lewis Hamilton may be one of the most successful and well-known Formula One drivers of all time, but that doesn't mean that everyone knows everything there is to know about the British racer. Despite the fact that his life has been very much in the public eye, Lewis Hamilton has tried to keep many aspects of his private life private, focusing instead on his racing career. So join us as we go over the top 10 facts about Lewis Hamilton that you probably didn't know. 10. Hamilton was a beast at remote-controlled racing. Lewis Hamilton possessed an abundance of natural talent from the start. Lewis's father, Anthony, gave him a remote-controlled car when he was 6 years old. Hamilton finished second in a national race against adults with an electric car within a year. He also won Best Newcomer in the petrol class, which is quite an accomplishment given that he was the youngest competitor by at least 15 years. Even as a 7-time Formula One world champion, Hamilton recalls these moments and the pride they brought him. Without a doubt, it was a sensation he would return to as he progressed through the racing series. Number 9. He told McLaren's boss to sign him when he was just 13. Perhaps it was a young Lewis Hamilton's early confidence that prompted him to make a career-defining move. Lewis approached Ron Dennis, team boss of McLaren Formula One team, when he was barely a teenager. These two meetings would shape not only Lewis's life, but also the future of the sport. Dennis recalled the encounters. He asked for my autograph. 2 years later, he came back, asked my autograph again. There was a brightness and determination on my face. At that time, I was a bit bored, that's the truth. I told him I would sponsor his future seasons, but he had to do everything I say. The first thing was, to his disappointment, that he was going back to school. Hamilton would make his Formula One debut with McLaren nearly a decade later. On his debut, he finished third in Australia, followed by 4 second-place finishes before winning his first race in Canada. Dennis' bet on the youngster paid off handsomely. Number 8. Lewis used to be superstitious, but left ridiculous rituals behind. Many drivers will rely on lucky charms or routines to help them on race day. Michael Schumacher preferred odd numbers. Sebastian Vettel wore lucky silver on his race boots, and Stefano Medina despised the right side of the garage. Lewis Hamilton used to be the same way. He explained to James Corden and Tom Brady, "I must have been 10 or 11, and my brother gave me this conker. It was my lucky conker, so I put it in my suit. I don't know what happened to the damn thing. It came out of my trouser leg, and I lost the damn conker. Then I had this lucky pair of underwear, and my mum shrunk them." It wasn't until I was 17 or 18, and I had a sequence of how to get dressed, right sock first, then left sock. I got in a car in Germany, about to start a race, and my helmet wasn't done up. So I'd missed one of the elements of these steps I had made crucial to getting the job done. I remember I crashed several seconds later, and after that I thought, this is ridiculous, it's all in my head. So I got rid of all that, we create those things in our minds. Number 7. Lewis Hamilton dominated the Junior Series. Drivers in modern open-wheel racing can expect tough competition as they progress through the series. Young drivers compete for the attention of team bosses on the Formula One grid in F3 and F2. Hamilton, on the other hand, simply blew the field away. In 2005, he triumphed in the Formula 3 Euro Series. The Brit won 15 of the 20 races, as well as 13 pole positions. He won the championship by 78 points over rivals such as Adrian Sutil, Lucas di Grassi, and Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton maintained his momentum when he moved up to GP2 the following year. With Nelson Piquet Jr. and Timo Glock as his closest rivals, Hamilton won the series on the first try, albeit by a narrow margin of 12 points. He was duly signed by Ron Dennis to make his F1 debut in 2007, with the McLaren boss saying he has earned his opportunity and deserves it. It's not unrealistic to expect him to win a race on his debut season if we have a strong car, but certainly not in the early part of the season. Turns out Dennis was overly conservative about Hamilton's debut season prospects, as the British superstar not only managed to bag 3 wins and a further 9 podiums, but was also on course to win the championship until his unfortunate mistake at the Chinese Grand Prix. Number 6. Hamilton ditched his centre-inspired yellow helmet. After a string of victories in his junior years, it was difficult to overlook Hamilton on the track, not to mention his eye-catching helmet design. For his first 2 seasons in Formula 1E, he wore a bright yellow helmet in honour of his hero, Ayrton Senna. This yellow is, of course, associated with the driver's Brazilian nationality. However, designer Sid Mosca described the yellow base as representing youth, with a green stripe representing aggression and a blue stripe representing movement. Hamilton wore a yellow helmet with blue and green lines and a red line for many years. And in 2014, Hamilton began to incorporate more red into his helmet by retaining yellow elements. However, there was a significant shift in 2020. Hamilton wore a black helmet with purple accents in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. This was a departure from his 2 decades of using yellow and red art on his lid, but it was a powerful way to make a point. Number 5. Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton used to be great friends. Their upbringings couldn't be more dissimilar. Hamilton grew up in Stevenage, where his father worked multiple jobs to support his father's career. Rosberg grew up in the opulent Monaco of his title-winning father, Keke. However, as they progressed through the junior ranks, Rosberg and Hamilton became friends. In 2000, they were teammates on the Mercedes-Benz McLaren karting team. Their careers eventually diverged. Rosberg made his debut for Williams in 2006, followed by Hamilton the following year. The British driver had an outstanding debut season, finishing just 1 point behind world champion Kimi Raikkonen. However, Rosberg's first podium came the following season during the Australian Grand Prix, won by Hamilton. In the cool-down room, the couple famously embraced. As the seasons progressed, the pair rejoined Mercedes as teammates. However, the relationship was not amicable, with several squabbles, leading Hamilton to declare in an interview, "We are not friends." Number 4. Lewis Hamilton has appeared on a Christina Aguilera record. Lewis is a budding musician, as anyone who follows him on Instagram will know. He frequently posts video clips of his recording setup or his progress on the piano or guitar. But it's Lewis's vocals that have already landed him a record deal. Hamilton appeared as XNDA on the track Pipe from Christina Aguilera's 2018 album Liberation. On the track, he raps a short verse, which he revealed on Instagram was written and recorded in 2 hours. Number 3, Hamilton is working to improve representation of black people in motorsport. As Formula 1 continues to take a knee before the race and pause to recognise the "We race as one" message, some have argued that more action rather than symbolism is required. Lewis Hamilton has taken control of the situation as he launched the Hamilton Commission in June 2020 with the goal of improving the representation of black people in UK motorsport. Lewis stated when announcing the commission's formation, "Despite my success in the sport, the institutional barriers that have kept F1 highly elusive persist. It is not enough to point to me or to a single new black hire as a meaningful example of progress. Thousands of people are employed across this industry, and that group needs to be more representative of society." Number 2, Lewis Hamilton is the 4th Formula 1 driver to be knighted. Lewis Hamilton was knighted in the 2021 New Year's Honours for equalling Michael Schumacher's record of 7 world titles. He follows in the footsteps of Sir Jack Brabham, Sir Sterling Moss, and Sir Jackie Stewart, who have 6 titles between them. It was a bittersweet moment for the Mercedes driver, who had just missed out on a record 8th title after a nail-baiting and contentious conclusion to the F1 season in Abu Dhabi, where bitter rival Max Verstappen won his first driver's title. Number 1, he has a passion for piano. You might be wondering what Lewis Hamilton does in his spare time away from the racetrack, and one of his favourite pastimes is actually playing the piano, with the F1 driver spending a significant amount of time learning how to play. Because of the stress that comes with his racing career, having to focus on every small detail, he likes to relax as much as possible when he's away from the intense racing world, which is where the piano comes in. Hamilton has actually learned quite quickly, with videos of him performing Queen's hits alongside industry stars such as Rita Ora surfacing on the internet, demonstrating that he certainly has a knack for it. And that concludes our list. Thank you for tuning in. Are there many other exciting facts about Lewis Hamilton that you think should have been mentioned? Make sure you let us know in the comments section down below.